It's time to take a look back at my 2025 snowmobile season. There were some highs, some lows, some awesome new opportunities that I was presented with, and some new partnerships that formed. My goal going into this season was to put more time into my riding and spending time working on the sleds. I've gone into every race season prepared, but primarily relying on my muscle memory rather than practice and preparation. On top of that, I've done the bare minimum of testing on the snowmobile, from setups to clutching. I really tried to treat it like a job. More laps, more wrenching, more notes, and it made a difference. I came in hot to the very first race in Presque, Maine in the middle of January, and surprised a lot of people, surprised myself even, and I really had a good time riding. Usually I enjoy racing, but this time I felt competitive. I felt I was at the same level as the other racers, where in the past there were a lot more times where I felt very below skill-wise and speed-wise from the other racers. And this was a huge boost in my confidence. I was reached out to by RNS Racing. Neil Specken, who has a oval race team that races short track and long track, or half mile and mile oval racing. And they had a sled that they compete with in the I-500 that they wanted me to be a driver on. When I first found out about this over the summer of 2024, it completely changed my training, my mindset, everything going into the 2025 race season. I had way more drive, way more purpose and focus, and it showed. I felt like I was in the best shape of my life. I felt very focused in the work that I was doing around snowmobiling. And so this was an exciting year for me. I had this massive opportunity to compete in one of the most prestigious snowmobile races of all time, which leads me into, in my opinion, the biggest low of my race season, where I raced the half-mile track in Kinross in the Myra circuit. I did really well in qualifying for the semi-pro class. This is completely new to me on a sled I'd never ridden before, a racing style that was very foreign to me. It was one of the best experiences ever, though. It was stupidly fun. It was scary. The new experience put me way out of my comfort zone. I ended up qualifying 8th, which was insane, out of I think 15 racers, 15 or 16 racers, so I was smack dab in the middle. I went in really excited and probably overly confident into the 25 lap final race. And within the first lap, I ended up biffing it right into the snowbank and ended up hurting my knee. Some context behind what happened. I couldn't see. A sled slowed down in front of me. I thought it was smart to change lines and give it some throttle. I hadn't ever made a move like that on that sled, and I kind of went with my gut instinct of how I would probably respond to that situation on my own sled. I went wide, clipped the spindle of another sled, which bent in the tunnel guard and locked the track up, caused me to high side and go off into the snow. I definitely could have leaned more, and that was one of the biggest tips of advice from the other racer, Hayden and Neil, was that they saw that I just wasn't leaning enough. And I felt like I was hanging off that sled, but I wasn't, based on footage and photos. Could leaning more have helped with that situation? Absolutely, but it's hindsight. If I were to do anything different, I would have just slowed down, kept my position, worked my way through each lap on trying to make gains or passing people, rather than just trying to jump on the first opportunity I can get to pass people. I was really bummed that I wasn't able to race in the I-500, but everything happens for a reason. Hopefully I get a shot on another team, or maybe RNS Racing will come out of retirement. The goal is to continue to stay in good shape, continue to stay healthy, and the training that I'll do for my own racing will definitely align with any opportunities for the I-500. I'm excited for this upcoming race season. Buddy Collins tested out an enduro race series up in Portage Lake, Maine. Plan is to do another one of these races, which is about a mile-long track out on the lake, left turn only. This is the type of racing that I want to gain some more experience in, and it just looks really fun. You're constantly battling back and forth. It's kind of common knowledge that the Catalyst platform struggled with top-end speed. That was one of the biggest issues at the end of 2024 for me with cross-country racing. The setup was okay with what knowledge I had, but I could not, for the life of me, find top-end speed to stay competitive. Speed Shop Inc. really played a huge part in me finding competitive speed this season. Honestly, without them, I don't think I would have finished third overall in the stock class. I got a ton of support from them, and Brady over at Speed Shop Inc. Was great in helping with trying out different clutching setups, helping with data acquisition. They were instrumental in my success for this season, and I'm really looking forward to working with them next season on finding even more speed. Another series of lows, I continued to keep crashing and breaking stuff this season. I don't know if that was me not being focused out on the track or riding harder. I had a great conversation with my dad on what the cause might be. Was I distracted from trying to generate content from social media? Was I being too eager in a long endurance race at the very beginning and trying to make moves too early, not being patient? There was a lot to learn. My takeaway from this season was that I need to be able to see the forest through the trees. Whatever's right in front of me, I like to try and chomp at it when I get the opportunity, but that can bite me in the butt. There were times where I really embarrassed myself and just made rookie, inexperienced mistakes that really cost me valuable positions, valuable points in the race series, and also parts expenses and time working on sleds. What I would do differently next season is learning from those mistakes. What was I doing? And trying to implement strategies to help get past them. So being more patient in races, really staying focused on what's going to happen rather than what's going on right in front of my skis. And then I really enjoy riding, but on top of that, I do need to take it serious. And I like having fun, but there's a level of seriousness that I need to implement more when it comes to my racing. So what's next? More speed, more seat time, and hopefully less knee damage. It's been challenging to get back up to my level of fitness that I was at going into last season because of the body damage I did, including my knee, with my crashes and the amount of time I spent in the garage and riding. So I've been recuperating on top of slowly trying to build my fitness back up over the summer. I have full confidence in my ability to get to a really high level of fitness. So next season, I'll look to try and spend more time in between races, maybe getting more seat time rather than just going from race to race. This is really hard to do, but with a good plan set in place on having the sleds prepared and ready to go for practice sessions and racing can go a long way. If you like this recap or you want to hear more, like the video, comment what you might want to hear more of. I can do it in another video. I'm more than happy to talk more about it. Subscribe to the channel. The more that this grows, the more people that I have to share my experiences with, my stories with. It makes this all so much more worth it for me, my sponsors, and anyone else who's watching. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.